Average U.S. wedding will cost them $34,000. And even then, research shows that many couples will go over their budget. With us this morning, we have financial professional Brian Pearson. Thanks so much for coming in.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I talked to some of the girls that are married here at the station, and they all said we went over budget. And that's not shocking because that research says 45% of people go over budget.
Right. The vast majority of people that were surveyed that overspent on their wedding certainly regret doing so. In fact, I'm going through that myself with my oldest son and his fiance. So I'm just by the fact that I'm involved in that is I'm an expert now. So.
I was going to say you got to crack the whip on that one. Figure out who's paying for the wedding. That's the first tip, right?
Absolutely. And you know, with the way families sometimes are structured today, there are the in-laws and you know, the step parents sometimes, or maybe no parents are involved in the situation or the wedding planning, and maybe it's just the couple themselves that are paying for it. So first of all, you want to decide, you know, who's paying for this. And of course, things have changed too, where it's becoming, you know, both sides of the family are involved in paying for weddings and different portions of the wedding, more so than and differently than it was 10, 20, 30 years ago. And so determining who's paying for that, and then most importantly, what that looks like in terms of how much everybody is able to contribute, that gives you a budget. So now you have something to work with and try to stay within the budget.
Yeah, definitely. Also work with your partner to identify what's important to you, whether you want to spend the money on the flowers or the cake or do any of those things matter. Absolutely.
So yes, decide where you want to maybe splurge and maybe where you can afford to not spend so much money and maybe save. And in fact, online resources tell us that where people typically wish they had spent more money was with videographers and photographers, and areas where they wish they had spent maybe less money was invitations and flowers and decorations.
I was going to say, as a journalist, I would definitely spend a lot of money on the video. But okay, don't go into debt to pay for the wedding. That seems so obvious, but people forget.
Well, absolutely. You don't want to go into debt paying for the wedding, and there's a lot of things that you can do to avoid that happening. Go out and get quotes from various caterers, even the florist. If you were to choose flowers that are in season versus those out of season, you can actually save a lot of money. And then also, a lot of people don't even look at the fact that potentially changing the wedding date maybe to a Friday versus a Saturday sometimes can save you 20 to 40% on the venue.
That's a lot of money.
And then the venue itself, for that matter, things have also changed where people are doing venues more so than the traditional churches and what have you. And so those venues can cost a lot of additional monies, and you may want to look at that versus going back to maybe a traditional type of wedding. You can save thousands and thousands of dollars there.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit though about wedding gifts, because I feel like this is tricky. Okay, so just quickly, after a lot of people go to weddings and you usually get cash, right? So you want to use that cash wisely.
Well, you want to use the cash wisely, and cash has become very common or popular because people are getting married a little bit later in life now. So the idea that getting the wedding couple a new set of towels, dishes, toasters, things like that.
They already have it.
They already have it. So cash is a great gift, and if you are receiving cash, pay off any debt that you have. Maybe if you did splurge a little bit in the wedding, pay that debt off. And then also, it doesn't hurt to go ahead and get started for retirement. Put some money in an IRA, something like that, and go ahead and get started.
Well, if people want to get in touch with you, they want some more tips, financial tips, where can they go do that?
Give me a call or check out our website, thinkabx.com.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much. Really appreciate the tips.